For this problem, we're asked to find the thermal conductivity and the heat transfer coefficient associated with convection at each of these front and back surfaces. They're exposed to a surrounding air temperature of 30 degrees C. If you remember, when we look at problems involving the heat conduction equation, there's 3 questions that we can ask to help us simplify the problem. The first question is, what coordinate system are we going to use? So pause the video, think about what your answer to that question would be. Okay, if you answered Cartesian, I think probably that makes sense. Some cues are that, we have a plane wall, and also that we're given coordinates in terms of an x direction and a temperature profile. So all of this together suggests that the Cartesian coordinate system is most appropriate. The other thing to ask is, what's the direction of heat flow? So pause the video, think about your answer. Right, again, we know that the heat flows normal to these surfaces, and it's driven by temperature gradients in the direction of heat flow. We can imagine that this heat flow is occurring from the center to the front and back sides of this panel. So the x direction is probably the most appropriate one. And finally, we can ask what direction the temperature is varying. All right, in this problem, we're given actually a temperature distribution, so we can see that temperature is varying in the x direction. And remember, again, we're talking only about 1D problems, so there can only be one direction of heat flow, one component, and one direction of variation of the temperature.